Hi everybody, I'm Greg Fishel. Welcome to bonus weather video number 2 for this week, and just going to have a little bit of fun with numbers. And I guess the word fun may mean something different to me than it does to you, but I just see so much misinformation out there that is thrown around, and it tries to make everything seem really easy, like if this, then that, okay? And it's foolproof, it never fails, right? And it's all a bunch of garbage. It's just absolute bunch of garbage. And if this video doesn't prove to you that a lot of what you've heard about El Nino is wrong, I don't know that there's anything that's going to convince you otherwise, okay? So let's go on ahead and get into it here. We're going to take a look at the most snowy winters, the least snowy winters, the warmest winters, and the coldest winters, okay? And let's see what we can discover here. All right, so these are the top snowiest winters in the Triangle history going back to World War II. And of course, the season of 1999 to 2000 was the one where we had the 20-inch snow at RDU, very poorly forecast by yours truly and many others. But the snow total for the season was 25.8 inches. And what did we have going on that particular winter? A strong La Nina. How about that? So the El Nino argument, at least with regard to that winter, is pretty much blown out of the water. Now, 1947 and 48, we don't have oceanic Nino index values back that far, so we're just going to count that as not applicable. 1959 to 1960, neutral. 1979 to 1980 was a weak El Nino. 78-79, neutral. 54-55, a weak La Nina. 2003-2004, neutral. 1961-1962, neutral. 1995-1996, a moderate La Nina. And then we have a tie for 10th place, 64-65 and 58-59. The first of those two was a weak La Nina, and the second of those two was a weak El Nino. So of those 11, okay, with the tie for 10th place giving us 11 winners, how many El Ninos do I see in there? I see 1, 2. 2 out of 11, which means that 9 out of the 11 snowiest winters in the history of the Triangle occurred when an El Nino was not going on. Okay, is that surprising? It probably is, based on a lot of what you hear out there in radio, TV, newspaper, and social media land. Okay, so let's go now to the least 10 snowy winters in the Triangle area. And unfortunately for snow lovers, the one at the top of the list is the most recent winter. In fact, all of these have a trace of snow. So there was no measurable snow any of these winters, okay? And what was going on during those? We had a weak La Nina in last year, a weak La Nina in 05-06, a strong La Nina in 98-99, a strong El Nino in 91-92, and that's the exception that I use about the fact that, okay, we didn't have any measurable snow and we had a strong El Nino, so much for the argument that El Ninos always give us snow. 90-91, 56-57, and 52-53 were all neutral, and the last 3 on the list, we don't have ONI values for those winters that far back, and so that is not applicable. So I guess in this case, you can say that, okay, of the 7 winters that we do have values for, that 3 out of the 7 had some form of La Nina going on, but that's still not what you would call a foolproof correlation, right? I mean, 3 out of 7 is, not all that terribly impressive. Now, let's go on and take a look at temperature, because now, at least in these situations, there might be a little bit more to look at here. So the top 10 coldest winters in the Triangle. Now, the granddaddy of them all was 1976-1977, when the Albemarle Sound partially froze. And I was at Penn State that winter, and we had 35 consecutive days below freezing, day and night. We had a 1-day break, and then the Arctic outbreak that finished Buffalo off for that winter. Basically, whatever life was left in Buffalo was eliminated with that next cold front and lake effect snow event. Brought us back down below 0 for another couple of days and below freezing for several. So that winter was just incredible. And the interesting thing is that in the western U.S., they were closing ski resorts because of record warmth. So we were in a very persistent ridge in the west, trough in the east pattern, and it was extreme. So we had extreme cold in the east, they had extreme warmth in the west, and it was certainly not cold everywhere. Okay, so then 1977-78 and 76-77, weak El Ninos, both of those years, same thing 69-70. 62-63 was neutral. 63-64, 2009-2010 was moderate El Nino, 57-58 strong. 47-48 we don't have data. 68-69 moderate El Nino, and then a tie for 10th, 80-81 and 60-61, and it was neutral both of those years. So out of those 11 coldest winters in the triangle history, how many El Ninos do we see up there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of the 11. So again, not foolproof, but certainly a better correlation than what we saw with the snow. Now, let's take a look at the top 10 warmest winters in the triangle. And again, unfortunately, at the top of the list is last year's at 48.9, and we had a weak La Nina. Same thing with 16-17. 2019-2020 was neutral. We don't have data for 48-49 or 49-50. 2011-2012, moderate La Nina, same with 21-22. 2015-2016 was a very strong El Nino, and 56-57 neutral, and 98-99 strong La Ninas. So out of those 11 mildest winters, how many La Ninas do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of the 11. That's not very impressive, is it? Okay. And 1 was a very strong El Nino, and I'm sure that the winter forecast that year were going crazy saying, oh, we're going to get hammered with snow. And, what do we end up with? Like one of the top 10 warmest winters on record. So, I bring this up because these are actual facts, okay? These are not things that are made up. These are not perceptions. These are not notions. This is actual data. And when you look at the actual data, you see that life is not nearly as easy and easy to figure out as we had all hoped. So, in summary, the notion that El Nino winters result in our snowiest winters doesn't hold an ounce of water or a flake of snow, whichever substance you prefer. Temperature correlations with El Nino and La Nina appear to be a little bit more consistent, but even then, or even there, not foolproof, certainly not one-to-one. And you know what? We all need to stop looking for easy answers, because you know what? There ain't none. There really ain't none, okay? Just about every time we think there's an easy answer or a foolproof correlation, we look a little deeper into the data and find out that it's simply not the case. So the bottom line is that just because we've got a strong El Nino this winter, it doesn't mean a thing about how much snow we're going to get, or how it might actually have a little better chance of giving us a colder than normal winter, okay? But even then, no guarantee. All right, that is the bonus weather video for this Wednesday. Hope you found that interesting. And we'll have another one for you coming up on Friday. Okay, that's the new schedule, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the next daily weather update, of course, coming up tomorrow afternoon. So you all take care, folks. Stop looking for the easy answers, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. See you later.